Everyone. Let's see, I asked Dr. Gold, I said, how am I fitting in here? I'm kind of a general family doc. I see people of all ages for all kinds of problems. I do a lot of preventive medicine, but one of the things I may be unique in this group with is I have an outreach and a voice to the public. I've written books over the last 30 years. Both for the public as well as many practitioners, not just medical doctors, even more for acupuncturists, naturopaths, and chiropractors, and people who incorporate a bit more natural medicine. I want to follow up on David Smith's beginning here, and it's like I was a child of the 60s, 70s, and I want to say I was a rebel medical student in 1968. And it's kind of the beginning coming out to California when I had an opportunity to come out and intern. I said, I'm going to Berkeley, and working at the Berkeley Free Clinic and all that. But there's a lot of positive things that came out of that era. We know, besides technology and the great advance, explosion. I mean, in some ways, the drug era is part of the atomic bomb of the mind, and it exploded. And there was a lot of fallout and problems, and there was some positive. And I think part of it was the back to nature movement and this idea that, when I finished med school, I was like, I need to learn about health and healing now, and that's why I started studying. So that's been my pursuit of my career personally and in practice. I really work on prevention. That's what I do. So, I've looked at health in a lot of different ways, but to most people, it's like, having the ability to function, everything's working well, they have some vitality. And a lot of this is, one of my message to patients is, so much of our health is up to us. It matters, how we look and feel, it's based on our lifestyle. So it's what we eat, our exercise, how well we sleep, how we deal with stress, and I think attitude. When I did, in 1975, I went on a fast. I didn't know anything about this, never heard about that in med school other than a fasting blood test. And it really changed how I felt. And I realized my attitude shift to, wow, this is the only body I have. I have to take care of it. And that's really my message in practice. And yes, we have our genetics and all that, but we have many other factors that contribute to the end result. Our health and how we feel is an end result of how we live, primarily. So to me, these are the 5 keys to staying healthy. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, managing stress, and keeping a positive attitude. And we're looking at, some of the presenters talked about shifting attitude, shifting the mind, the inner self and the outer self, and how to integrate these. Love that part. So I'm a philosopher, physician in some way. I like to talk about health and healing. What are the deepest levels we get to? And I really, in 68, my first class in med school was Horace Davenport, who wrote the textbook on acid-base chemistry, and I still remember that. He says, everything starts at the cell. So, here I am saying, one of the deepest understanding, even, in the last decade, we say, inflammation is one of the keys to, ill health. But now I think, but what causes inflammation? All the, these lifestyle factors we talked about. But I look at this idea in the writing I've done on detoxification, is deficiency and toxicity is the imbalance that happens. And that's, basically the rest of these slides is looking at that. We don't get enough of the nutrients we need to do all the thousands of functions we do every second of every day, or we have toxins, chemicals, metals that get into our air, food, and water that affect us. So we change that. I can change, all of us could change so much health by making sure we get all the nutrients we need and getting rid of some of the toxins. And that may be anything from stress to, habitual, coffee, sugar, average American diet. So looking at getting a balanced diet in is important. It's individualized. There's no one right diet. You can look at it, go in the store and find thousands of books on different diets and see what happens there. But finding the balance for the family and having that connection around food. I mean, so much of socialization happens. We don't have enough research on the idea of detoxification or this whole understanding of acid, alkaline, and acid inflammatory state. This is, goes back to, the simple biochemistry. But here's my belief system, is that we have too much flour, sugar, junk, chemicals, things that create more acid, inflammation, congestion, and eventually degenerative disease. I think that cleaning up these habits is a way to change and create more healthy aging. And these are the things that I focus on with people. When their initial intake, I have a questionnaire that looks at all these different habits, how much of these you do every day. I see somebody drinking 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. I see that they have an energy problem. They're using caffeine to stimulate, or they're using sugar. And how do we get this balance? This is really a lot about healthy lifestyle and how we get to a new life. If we get off of certain drugs. Originally I was watching people going to AA, and they were smoking and drinking coffee you couldn't find a non-smoking, Alcohol Anonymous meeting, and now it's changing. So this is what we have to watch out for. I have this acronym that I write about in the detox diet book called SNACKS. If people have too many snacks: sugar, nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, chemicals, or drugs. And looking at this, to me, this is the first level of dealing with what I call habits, abuses, addictions. And almost every person that I talk to in an audience, has at least a habit to these substances. Very few people are clear of all those. So this is what we wanted to bring in, all these different, natural foods basically is the message that I got out of my, 70s diet change, and it's helpful for me. I grew up overweight, eating, the average American diet, and I constantly have to work on that with exercise and all that. So when I look at that balance, if people are toxic and congestion, I want them to simplify or detoxify. If people are deficient or weak, they need to be nourished. So it's not like does everybody need to do the kinds of things that I'm talking about here? No, a lot of people need better quality nourishment. So when they have, itises and allergies and, aches and pains, they often benefit from following a detoxifying protocol, which could be something like this. I'll show you what the detox diet is, or just eliminating wheat and dairy and sugar. People who want to lose weight know they have to get off flour and sugar, refined foods. Eating more, fresh foods, all the way down to, water fasting, which I don't really recommend to people unless they're kind of in a situation they can be taken care of. But there's a lot of benefits to the detox process, and to me, I think it's really one of the healthy aging. I don't like to use the word anti-aging, but that's a popular term these days. But I think it really keeps people more youthful, keeps the body lighter, clearer. And there's a lot of what I call it when I do more natural programs with people. I say, well, you're going to get a lot of side benefits instead of side effects. So that's a number of my. So there's a lot of aspects to healthy detoxification. Besides, exercise, just kind of pulling into yourself, cleaning up your house, cleaning up your closet, all these different aspects. It's like, a spring cleaning for your body. And here's getting people to chew their food well. But here's just an example of what I call an alkaline process to help, and there's a lot of nutritional support that can go along with that. But you get up in the morning, you drink water, you have some fruit and whole grain. Then you have mainly steamed vegetables. Some people have a little protein in the afternoon if they need it. You make a broth with the vegetable water. It's not an overly exciting diet, but it's a break. It's like a holiday, giving your body a holiday. That's what I call detox a lot. I use an oil mixture because people get fatty acid deficient even more quickly than they get protein deficient. And they can have a little protein if they need it. In the evening, they do teas. You do other things, making sure the bowels are keeping going, exercising, sweating, and all these other aspects. This is more nutritional detoxification. That was my topic title that I talked with Mark about. So overall, there's a lot of there is more research on following a Mediterranean type diet. You have reduction in certain chronic diseases. I think really we need a handle on. We've, as we've gotten more technological and been able to keep people alive from dying from infectious diseases, now we're dealing with more chronic diseases. Is that it?
No, you get 2 minutes.
Oh, that's 2 minutes?
1 minute.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we, most choices are under our control. Whole different topics about the thousands of products. You have people come in who They have, elders, different people, they'll have a bag of different supplements they take. They're taking greens, they're taking, we didn't learn any of this in med school. I think, that our training needs to change. And, and really talking about how do we motivate and help people change habits. I knew when I became a doctor in the early 70s, I said, I need to learn how to, one, motivate people to take care of themselves and guide them in what to do, and that's easy to say. I don't want people, one of my philosophies and practice is, what the best exercise program is, what the best diet is, they'll say a variety of things. I say, no, the one that you'll do. So if you can get people to commit and get them to say, okay, I will do this. If you give them too much, they won't do it. So it's true almost in any kind of treatment, especially dealing with drug issues. So getting people motivated, making a plan, helping them. I'll even have in their chart, I'll say, I am going to be off sugar and wheat and, whatever it is, I'm going to take a coffee break. The idea of those snacks and taking a break is I want people to realize what relationship they have to any substance. And if they take a break, they can kind of see, okay, my body feels better, I'm sleeping better and all that. So, the message is just basically my message is back to nature. And in prevention, I have a character, Dr. Sun, that I do. I've written stuff for children. I have songs about the body system. So, to me, preventive medicine starts at 3, 4, up to 8, 10. And, teenagers, as people mentioned, they're already inundated with the society. They want to fit in with society. And, society needs to change if we're going to make it. Okay, thank you.